Hey everyone, welcome back to the GH Spoilers channel. Over the next 2 weeks, things are really gonna get wild in Port Charles, so let's get into it. From February 9th to the 20th, get ready for an emotional ride. There will be some pretty shocking revelations, secrets that could be dangerous, and confrontations that just might break your heart, leaving everyone absolutely stunned. Nathan West is coming back, and it's gonna mess with a lot of stories at once. Plus, Willow Kane's lies are getting riskier. These next 2 weeks are really going to change General Hospital in ways no fan expects. Anna's situation really set off a chain reaction of problems. So the week of February 9 to 13 is going to start with some awful news about Anna Devane, and it's going to shake things up in Port Charles big time. It's tough for Emma Scorpio Drake to tell Giovanni Gio Palmieri all the bad news, and you can really see how much it affects her. Meanwhile, Felicia Scorpio decides to tell Jason Morgan everything that's going on, because she knows his particular skills and what he can do could really help out in the coming days. What's happening with Anna is really serious, and how this whole mess plays out is going to seriously test how strong the friendships and loyalty are for Port Charles's most dedicated protectors. What happened with Anna actually opened up some surprising chances for people to move up in the police department. Dante Falconeri got a big offer to be the police commissioner for good. It'd really make him the boss, but it would also mean a lot of pressure. This promotion would cap off Dante's whole undercover journey, getting him to the very top of law enforcement. But taking on that much responsibility right now with everything going on could really be a double-edged sword. So the big question is, if Dante is really ready for all the political heat and tough ethical calls that come with being commissioner, particularly since his own family ties might cause some real problems. Danny was always causing trouble, and Charlotte, well, she was off on some really dangerous mission. Jason Morgan might have to give his son Danny some tough love. It seems Danny got into some pretty serious trouble because he was trying to help Charlotte Cassadine, but it all went a bit wrong. Danny means well, there's no doubt about that. But his quick decisions and not really knowing how to handle these kinds of touchy situations could easily lead to bigger problems than he intends. Jason gets why Danny wants to help his friend, but he also knows that even when you mean well, things can go sideways. He's got to make sure Danny understands the serious fallout if he messes with grown-up stuff he doesn't really grasp. It looks like Charlotte is really set on taking charge, maybe even sneaking off to see Valentine Cassadine again. Even with all the trouble that could cause, she just wants to tell her dad that Nina Reeves totally stabbed them in the back and is not to be trusted. Charlotte probably feels pretty betrayed, but maybe that's because she doesn't really get what's going on. It's a complicated mess. She might go to Valentine with her worries, and he could totally throw her off by telling her to be careful and maybe even suggesting she talk to Nina first, instead of just assuming the worst. It seems like Valentine's calm reaction means he gets that Nina was actually looking out for Charlotte, not trying to mess things up for her in their last chat. When you look a little closer, Nina's behavior starts to make a lot more sense. When they met before Nina actually cut Charlotte off on purpose, she did it just before the young girl spilled too much sensitive information. Instead of digging up every little thing about Jack Brennan, Nina held back. She was really careful not to let Charlotte accidentally get herself or her dad into trouble. Valentine could really help Charlotte see that Nina stepping in was actually a good thing. She was just trying to protect them, making sure Charlotte didn't accidentally give Brennan something he could use against the Cassadines. This could totally change how Charlotte sees Nina, like where her loyalties truly lie and what drives her. Tracy's smart thoughts, and Lucas finding something really surprising. So Tracy Quartermain actually ended up giving Cody Bell some pretty good advice about Molly Lansing Davis. Almost like she was a relationship counselor or something. Tracy totally gets what it's like out there. And her straightforward way of dealing with all the messiness in relationships could really help Cody see things from Molly's side, which he desperately needs to do. The Quartermain matriarch has seen a lot of relationship drama over the years. She really knows her stuff when it comes to how women think and the ins and outs of today's relationships. Her insights could totally help Cody figure out how to connect with Molly on a deeper level. Meanwhile, Lucas Jones finds out something really shocking, and it completely throws him for a loop. He just needs someone to talk to about it. He goes to Elizabeth Baldwin, a trusted friend who has always been good at keeping things private and giving helpful advice when things get tough. It's a mystery why Lucas was so shocked. Maybe he saw a different troubling side of Marco Rios. One that didn't match the charming guy Marco usually seems to be. Or maybe this curveball comes from something totally out of left field in Lucas's life, no matter what's really going on. Lucas asking Elizabeth for advice tells me this whole thing is big enough that he needs someone else's take and some comfort. Portia's huge news and the whole dad mystery. Portia Robinson's about to drop some big news. And it sounds like it could totally flip things upside down for a bunch of families in Port Charles. Everyone's really wondering, is she actually going to give in to Curtis Ashford's demand for that paternity test and finally share the results? We've all been hoping for Portia's finally tackling this paternity question, which has been making everyone tense for weeks. It's like she realized the truth just couldn't be kept quiet anymore. She's about to get some answers ready or not. And whatever comes out is going to completely change how everyone sees their relationships and what family even means to them. This whole paternity mystery has really shaken things up, making everything feel so uncertain. It's not just Curtis and Portia who are feeling it, everyone around them is affected too. If it turns out Curtis is the dad, it will prove his gut feeling was right. And that could really help mend things after all the secrets and uncertainty. But if Isaiah Gannon is the dad, things get way messier. Talk about some awkward situations and emotional turmoil for everyone. Anyone who's watched a soap opera for a while knows you can't just trust paternity test results. There's always a chance someone messed with them, swapped the samples, or that the lab made a mistake. That's just how things go in daytime TV. Nathan is back and Maxie is waking up. Kirsten Storms is coming back as Maxie Jones on February 12. And that's happening right when one of the biggest things has gone down on General Hospital. Nathan West finally found Lulu Spencer. This whole situation is a messy, emotional storm, because Nathan showing up again could totally mess up so many lives and relationships that have actually moved on since he's been gone. Nathan really wants to find Lulu, which makes me think he's still got some feelings for her. That could totally mess things up for everyone, especially since they've all been working hard to get their lives back on track. And they've come so far. So when Nathan finally finds Lulu, he might just pour his heart out, all the feelings he's been keeping inside, and tell her he really wants a future with her. It's really something, isn't it, Nathan? Is pouring his heart out to Lulu right then and at the exact same time. Maxie is probably just waking up in Boston without a clue that her husband, who she thought was gone for good, is back. She has no idea what's been keeping him away all this time. It's really hard for viewers to watch because of how far apart both in place and feeling these two big moments are. Maxie and Nathan still don't get it, but we do, and that just builds up so much tension. So Felicia and Damian Spinelli are in a really tough spot, trying to figure out if they should tell Maxie right away that Nathan is actually alive. That's some earth-shattering news they're holding on to. They're worried about Maxie because she's not doing well both physically and emotionally. If she found out Nathan was still alive, it might be too much for her and cause her health to get even worse or really mess with her head. They're really stuck having to choose between being honest and keeping Maxie safe. There's no easy way out here. No matter what they pick, it's going to mess with them. Britt really hates Michael's ideas for Valentine's Day. Britt Westbourne will be totally caught off guard by Nathan showing up. Her initial shock will probably morph into pure horror once she figures out what he's up to. When Britt finds out Nathan wants to go after Lulu, she's probably going to argue really hard that it's a completely awful idea. She might be worried for a few reasons how awful it would be for Maxie, the messy situation it would make for Lulu, and all the emotional damage it could cause everyone else they know. Britt's horror isn't just because she's worried about her friend, she also sees how Nathan's romantic pursuit could set off a whole chain reaction of chaos. So Michael Quartermain seems to be cooking up a Valentine's Day surprise for Jacinda Bracken. Sounds like it's going to be a pretty date. Michael's actions hint that he's ready to really dig into something more meaningful with Jacinda and tell everyone how he feels. But the real question is, will this carefully planned date actually go off without a hitch? Or is it all going to fall apart because Michael gets arrested? If Michael's legal woes mess with his romantic plans, it's just going to make his life even messier. It could really jeopardize his new relationship with Jacinda before it even gets going. Willow keeps on with her risky tricks. So from February 16th to the 20th, people are going to see a lot more of Willow's really complex and frankly pretty risky act as the perfect wife. She just keeps giving Drew Kane this really strong drug which makes him totally out of it. But to everyone else, she acts like she's his devoted caregiver the whole time. It really makes you wonder about Willow, doesn't it? Her choices bring up some unsettling questions about what's going on inside her head. Is she just desperate, or is she looking for revenge? Or has she gone somewhere truly dark and messed up? It's just hard to tell sometimes. Willow's whole plan could fall apart if Kai Taylor saw her giving that weird medicine to Drew. Kai's curiosity gets the better of him, and he figures he really should look into what that stuff is and what it's doing to Drew. If Kai finds out Willow's actually hurting Drew instead of helping him, he might just become the wild card that totally ruins everything she's got going. The big question is, what's Kai going to do? Is he going to go straight to Willow and confront her, or will he tell the police what he suspects? Maybe he'll try to get more proof first before doing anything that could rescue Drew. Cody and Molly now have a clear path forward. Well, here's hoping Cody and Molly actually get to talk things out, really dig deep into what's going on, and figure out what's getting in their way. Cody could totally go into this chat with a fresh understanding and a lot more empathy for where Molly's coming from, all thanks to Tracy's advice. It all boils down to communication, really. If they can truly talk things out and figure a way to get past their disagreements, then maybe they have a shot. Otherwise, the gap between them might just be too big to overcome. For this to work, Cody and Molly will both have to give in a little, admit where they messed up before, and really try to make things better from now on. With these 2 busy weeks of drama wrapping up, there's one last big question. Are we finally going to find out who Portia's baby's biological father is? Everyone's been on pins and needles, waiting for this reveal, especially with all the teasing and delays. Soap opera fans are way too smart to just believe the first paternity test results, whether it says Curtis is the dad or Isaiah Gannon. They always know there's more to the story. In Port Charles, you can never really trust that tests are legit. It's not uncommon for samples to get swapped or for someone to just outright lie. That's just how it is in this town. The truth is almost never what it seems, and simple answers hardly ever tell you everything.